Alternating current is the standard for power distribution, but many electronic devices require direct current to function. Understanding how we convert and measure these changing voltages is essential for modern electronics and power grid management. Rectification is the process of converting bidirectional alternating current into unidirectional direct current. This allows us to power sensitive components like microchips and battery chargers that cannot handle the reversing polarity of a standard wall outlet. The simplest form of conversion is the half-wave rectifier. It utilizes a single diode, which acts as a one-way valve for electricity, allowing current to pass during one half of the AC cycle while blocking it during the other. During the positive half cycle, the diode is forward biased. The voltage at the anode is higher than the cathode, allowing current to flow through the load. The output voltage across the resistor mirrors the input voltage during this phase. When the AC signal enters the negative half cycle, the diode becomes reverse biased. It acts as an open switch, blocking all current flow. Consequently, the output voltage drops to zero during this period, resulting in a pulsating DC signal. The resulting output is a series of positive pulses separated by gaps of zero voltage. While this is technically direct current because it never changes direction, it is highly discontinuous and requires further analysis to understand its effective power. To measure the effectiveness of this pulsating wave, we use the root mean square, or RMS value. The RMS value represents the equivalent steady DC voltage that would dissipate the same amount of heat in a resistor. The calculation involves three steps. First, we square the instantaneous voltage function. Second, we find the average or mean of that square over one full period. And finally, we take the square root of that average. We begin by squaring the voltage function. Since the voltage is zero during the second half of the cycle, the squared value is also zero during that time. The positive half cycle becomes a squared sine function with a peak of Vm squared. Because the signal is zero from t2 to t, our integration only needs to cover the first half of the period. This simplification is key to calculating the average of the squared values for a half-wave signal. By applying trigonometric identities and integrating the squared sine wave over the active half period, the mean of the squares simplifies significantly. For a half-wave rectifier, the mean square value results in the peak voltage square divided by 4. Taking the square root of our result gives us the final RMS value. For a half-wave rectified sine wave, the RMS voltage is exactly half of the peak voltage. This is a critical constant used in power calculations. Contrast this with a full-wave rectifier, where the RMS value is the peak divided by the square root of 2. The half-wave rectifier is less efficient because it discards half of the available energy from the AC source. Let's look at a practical example. If we have an AC source with a peak voltage of 100 volts connected to a half-wave rectifier, the effective RMS voltage delivered to the load would be exactly 50 volts. Using this RMS value, we can calculate power. With our 50-volt RMS result and a 10-ohm resistor, the circuit dissipates 250 watts of power. This illustrates why the RMS value is so useful for thermal calculations. To summarize, half-wave rectification uses a single diode to block the negative half of an AC cycle. The resulting RMS value, which determines the effective power, is calculated as half of the peak input voltage. Think about this: if your peak AC voltage is 20 volts, what is the RMS voltage after half-wave rectification? Following our formula, we divide 20 by 2 to get 10 volts. Thank you for learning with us. Generated by Vision Solve AI.